So my friend Sealablebag, you know him. He introduced this game to me. He showed me a video on his phone, and then he started talking about how he was in ESL and going to Poland and California, and I didn't believe him. I was like, "There's no way." Like, but he did, and he went. So I remember sitting at school in the cafeteria, and I ordered an Oculus Rift, a GTX 1080, a new motherboard. I spent like 2 grand on just like all the parts, and I ordered it and I started playing, and I started playing this game about 3/4 of the way through season 1. So I knew I couldn't make it to an event. I just wanted to play for practice and hopefully get on a really good team later. And I played with Billyisms, and he was the best. I love that guy. Nothing
Yes.
but good things to say. Um, but so season 1, he was very focused on just like having fun, and it kind of worked out in the way that we were only having fun, and we actually did take a couple of rounds from Eclipse, which was like more than I ever could have expected, just with practicing. And we never really scrimmed. We never played like organized practices. It was only for fun, right? So we would really just play pubs together, and every Sunday we would play. And then after season 1 was over, I got asked by Speedy and Fair Enough to join their team, and I was like really ecstatic about that because Speedy and Fair Enough are very good players, and I didn't think I was that good at this time, but they thought so. So we started playing on Metamercs, and we started playing a lot. We practiced, I think, like 3 or 4 times a week for like 3 hours each night. um, and it was intense. It was a lot. I was working 14 hours a day doing landscaping, and then I'd come home and just basically do a second job. But it didn't feel like a second job because I loved it, you know? And
Right.
if you love the game, that's all that really matters. And so we would just practice and practice, and we ended up getting really good. And we started, giving Eclipse a run for their money and giving 11.5 a run for their money. And we really thought, I don't know, all season 2, I didn't think we had a great chance of making it to finals, but I knew it was possible. And then that's all we did. We just went through. I remember the conversation we had for the qualifier for OC5 was just, we had a very long conversation just about, listen, like, none of this matters. We had a good season. Like, let's just have fun. We're not going to yell at each other. We're not going to get angry. Like, let's just have fun. And we I remember the qualifier went, we won our first game, and then our second game was against Eclipse, and we got roasted. And it wasn't even demotivating. Like, we were like, whatever, like, this is just for fun. Like, let's take this losers bracket, let's see how it goes. And we ended up winning every single game in the losers bracket, and we beat 11.5 in the most important match, like the one that would have qualified us to go to OC5. We won with 6 seconds left. It was 11-11, and Fair Enough scored a 2-pointer. And I remember like falling on my floor, like in the fetal position, like, we did it, we did it. That's basically my story of how, like, now I'm here. I'm in season 3, and I have a really good team. I'm playing with Sealable, the guy who got me into it, and Sealable's old teammate. And like, I love my team now. I love my team. And we're beating Eclipse and scrims. Everything's going good. And just like, my path literally consisted of, that game looks cool, I'm gonna try it, to, okay, I'm on this team, we're just having fun, ESL's cool, like, lo- losing doesn't matter, like, we don't care, everything's just for fun. And then it got a little bit more competitive just like on its own. Like, people asked me to join their team, and then it just got super competitive, and I got a lot better, and I got a better team, and then that's just how it went. Like, it was very like a natural progression, it felt like. So if people want to try to become competitive in this game, all they got to do is put in the time. And I think above all else, no matter how competitive you are, like, you need to love the game, because if you don't have fun, if you don't love what you're doing the whole time, then you shouldn't do it, right?
Right.
like like when like I said, working 14-hour days landscaping and coming home, like, I looked forward to coming home and spending another 2 hours practicing. Like, that's what I wanted to do. and and people, I always say, like, my friends ask me to hang out, and I'm like, sorry, no, like I got scrims, I got practice, and they're like, oh, like can't you just cancel? It's like, no, I don't want to cancel. Like this is gonna be awesome. But yeah, like I guess that's really all I have to say. Just like that's my story. That's how I got into it, and I feel like anybody could get into it that way, you know? Like it just starts with a love for the game, and even the community. Like if the community wasn't as tight knit and great as it is, I don't know how long. Like the game's fun, but if I don't like the people, like how long will I stay, right? Nobody likes losing, but
Right, right.
you gotta be able, if you're really focused on, you know, getting better and becoming the best individual player you can be, you need to be okay with losing, and you need to
Right.
learn from how you're losing. Like yeah, there's a degree where if you score too much, like you're kind of being a dick, you know, the other team isn't trying anymore. But I don't know. I remember in season one, first playing my first ever match against the Clips. It was like 45-2, and those two
Oh.
points that I got, the 2 points that I got, felt so
Right.
good. Like, and that's like I wasn't mad at them. I was like, no,
Right.
like this is how the game can be played. This is where I want to be. So yeah, I want them to play their best, because if I get a point, it doesn't feel like pity, you know?
Yeah.
That's what pushed me to become like the best player I could be, because I saw Eclipse and I was like, oh my god, they're so good. Like I gotta be that good. If you have a team of like mediocre players that pass and stuff, and you have a team of three pub stars who are
Right.
amazing, like that, the team with teamwork and like communication, call outs, like information constantly being relayed, like that team will win, just because you need, like, it's literally a sport. You don't see anyone in basketball, like LeBron James still passes,
Right,
you know, like he's not
right.
doing everything alone.
Yeah, exactly. Well, a couple things before we go. You talked about one of the things I heard you say right off the bat was that you heard about the game from Syllable and you were very interested and you went, you ordered your stuff, and you set a goal. So, how important do you think, either personally or on a team level, goals are in VR esports? Is that something that you think people should have a goal? And what do you think their goals should be if you do think goals are important?
Okay. Um, yeah, I do think goals are very important. When I first got the game, I didn't have a goal. I just was interested in it, and I didn't even know if I'd like it. I just knew I'd like VR. VR was always something I was interested in, but before Sealable showed me this game, I didn't know how far it was. I thought it was like still like play with an Xbox controller. Like I didn't know it was actually, you know, like good yet. So he told me to get this game, and I wasn't sure if I would like it. I just thought it looked cool, but I knew that I'd like VR. And I ended up falling in love with this game. That's just the way it worked out.
Right.
So season one, we never really had a goal. Our only goal was to not, because like I said, it was already 3/4 of the way through. So every team had points, every team had a standing, and my team was above Kipper's team. And Billyisms has a has a vendetta with Kipper. So our only goal for season one was to just not lose any points to Kipper, like never go below him. So that was like a kind of a funny, like little goal. But season two, when it became more competitive, from the very beginning, from the very beginning of the season, we said we were going to go to OC5. We said that was our goal. Deep down, some of us may not have really believed it, but that was our goal. That's what we said we were going to do. And then once we qualified to OC5, which was a miracle, I still think it was a miracle. I love that it worked out. But we set another goal immediately, and our goal, we literally changed our Discord group chat, because it was just like Metamercs, right? And then we changed our group chat name to Metamercs will beat Eclipse at OC5. And so every time we would message each other, we'd see that goal. And it didn't work out that way, you know. It's a lot of high pressure playing at an event, and you know, things go wrong, but can't take away from them because they played really good. They always do at LAN. Um, but like I think it's very important to have goals, just so you and your team know what you're working towards, and you just have that in mind. Like all this practice, like it's for something. Like we're not just like, I don't know how to explain it. Like it sounds kind of toxic to say like oh, like if you have to do this, just remember the goal. Because I never felt like I had to. I just
Right.
wanted to.
Right.
But the goal, like, I don't know, I had a lot of nights, like particularly before the OC5 qualifiers, I couldn't sleep very well. I was really nervous. And I literally fell asleep because I started thinking about, oh, like what would happen if we won? Like how good would that feel? And I literally just like fantasized about winning. And that's what got me to go to sleep. And I ended up winning, and it was great. But yeah, goals are incredibly important, but you don't necessarily need to have them from the very, very beginning. I think it takes time for that to like sort of embed in your mind. Like if you reach a point where you realize it's possible and you really want that, then absolutely you should set a goal like as the highest you can be. The idea of this, we're like the pioneers of this. We're at the
Right.
very beginning. And when we went to California for OC5, we got all brought into a room, and the head of the VR league said, like, you guys are the beginning of my baby. Like, we are taking this all the way. Like, and it was super hype. Everybody was looking at each other like, oh man, this is awesome.
Was that Christopher McKelvey? Talk to you
Yeah,
guys.
I think so. Yeah,
He's great.
It was super exciting, and that's why like I look at these gamers like the CS:GO guys going to Katowice and stuff.
Right.
Like they're making so much money and they're playing video games. And,
Right.
like that's what I'm doing. It's just on a smaller scale. But like, who do you know? Like if I were to walk down the street, and how long would it take for me to find a random person who plays VR or is in the VR league? Like
Right.
nobody,
Right.
Like it's literally like nobody has this. Nobody even knows what it is.
Yeah, we're just starting it. We're the pioneers. It'll grow.
Yeah, exactly. And I do believe it'll grow because like who does this? Look at this. We have a big arena. We got a disc and a goal. Like
yeah,
what?
it's so amazing.
Like, yeah, sometimes I have these surreal feelings. Like I'm just looking around. Like this is so cool. Like
I saw Nathan the other night, and developer Nathan, and so yeah. I was feeling pretty bad because I was actually, having treatments right now, but I had the flu. And so I really wanted to play, and I just haven't been able to play much because I felt bad. And I was just in the lobby floating around, hanging out, and I decided to play one match. And so I went in the match and I saw him, and I was just like, Nathan, I said, I just love this game. Like I really love being in here. I love the way it feels, and it just is so real. And I know you laugh, you understand it, like you get it, because
like
there's such a passion there. And
man, sometimes I look at my hand and I'm like, what's going on?
Cindo Target and I were talking, and he was saying the same thing. He said, it's not, we don't feel like you can fully express to people who don't do VR, because to them it's still a game, but to us it is as if we are really right here talking. It's so immersive.
Yeah, seriously.
And so I think for me, I feel like I do it just volunteer, and I'm helping out right now. But like you were saying, you were talking about these guys who are out there doing CSGO or things like that, making a bunch of money. People need to understand, right now, we really don't. And we're still promoting it. We're spending all our time investing in it because we believe in the industry so much that we're willing to put all that out there to help it grow. And I think that's what people need to understand. It's not about the money. That's great, and that might come. I'm sure it will at some point for some people, but that's not even the issue. The issue is that we helped build something from the ground up that'll impact not just gaming, not just VR esports or VR sports, but it'll impact the way we see the world, because we can actually be in VR doing things like this with other fields, like healthcare, education, or medicine, whatever, business. So it's pretty cool.
There's so many applications. I'm just like you said, like this isn't really just a game.